Okay, let's go.
So let me tell you a story about a guy named Harry. He was an aspiring trader, had these massive dreams and a huge appetite for success. And his story, well, it's about to reveal a fundamental truth that I think most traders completely miss. Harry's vision for his future was so clear, he could almost taste it. He literally pictured himself swimming in a sea of money. He imagined the dream cars, the incredible houses, a kind of wealth that would set up his family for generations. It was a really powerful dream, but it was about to smash headfirst into a very, very harsh reality.
And this is where the story takes a bit of a turn, because Harry's actual journey into the markets, it wasn't just a little challenging. It was way more painful than he ever could have imagined.
It all kicked off for him in 2020, right in the middle of that crypto boom. But let's be real, it wasn't about the technology for him. It was 100% about the money. He got stuck on this brutal emotional roller coaster of fear and greed. One day his account would shoot to the moon, and the very next it would crash and burn. The result? Poof. He blew his entire trading account. But he didn't give up. He tried again, this time with Forex, thinking, okay, this will be different, less volatile. But the exact same emotional patterns took over. And, you guessed it, he blew his second account.
So at this point, Harry was just spiraling. He was in total despair, wondering if he was even cut out for this whole trading thing. But deep down, something wouldn't let him quit. He just kept asking himself the same question over and over again. What was he missing? What was that fundamental piece of the puzzle that he just wasn't seeing?
And then, finally, the breakthrough. It was like a light bulb went off. Harry realized he had been focusing on completely the wrong thing. He thought success was about mastering the market, the charts, the latest trends, finding the perfect strategy. But the real key, the actual missing piece, was mastering his own mind. What he really needed was emotional discipline, rock-solid risk management, and a truly resilient mindset.
This one single realization led him to 5 critical lessons that changed absolutely everything for him. And the very first one tackles a huge mistake that almost every new trader makes, falling right into something I call the strategy trap. See, he was on that endless hunt for the holy grail, a strategy that just never ever loses. But the truth is, that doesn't exist. Even the best strategies in the world have losing trades. A good strategy just gives you a slight edge that plays out over a large number of trades. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be profitable over the long run.
So, once he finally accepted that losses were just part of the game, his focus shifted to what is, without a doubt, the single most important rule for survival in the markets: risk management.
The best way to think about risk management is like wearing a seatbelt. I mean, you don't put it on because you expect to crash every time you get in the car, right? You wear it to protect yourself from a catastrophic outcome if an accident happens. That is exactly what risk management does for your trading account. It's there to minimize the damage from those trades that will inevitably go against you.
And here's what that actually looks like in practice. It's a simple rule, but it is so powerful. Risk no more than a small, fixed percentage of your capital on any single trade. Let's just say 2%. So if you have a $1,000 account, that means the absolute most you can lose on one trade is $20. This kind of discipline is the firewall that prevents you from blowing up your account.
Now, having proper risk management is really only possible if you make a major psychological shift, and that is fully accepting the reality of the uncontrollable market.
Look, you can have the most brilliant analysis in the world, the most perfect strategy ever devised, but you cannot control the market itself. It's like being in a boat on a huge river. You can paddle, you can steer, but you can't control the current or the weather. The truly successful traders don't fight the river. They learn how to navigate it, adapting to its flow and always preparing for the unexpected.
And once you really accept that you can't control the market, it becomes a whole lot easier to focus on the things you can control. And that leads us straight to the 4th lesson, learning how to cut through the noise.
I mean, the internet is just flooded with so-called gurus, all selling you their ultimate solution. But here's the problem. What works for one person might be a complete train wreck for your personality and your risk tolerance. The key is to filter out all those distractions and develop your own approach, one that you understand inside and out, one you can stick with and execute with confidence, especially when things get tough.
And that brings us to the final, and I mean absolutely critical lesson. You cannot just wing it. You need the trader's essential roadmap. You need a trading plan for every single move you make in the market.
Think of it like this.
You wouldn't set off on a cross-country road trip without a map or a destination, right? Your trading plan is your GPS, and it needs 3 specific things. First, your entry point, the exact conditions that must be met for you to get into a trade. Second, your exit point. Where are you going to take your profits? And third, your escape plan. That's your stop loss, the point where you get out if the trade goes wrong. This plan is what saves you from making those impulsive, emotional decisions in the heat of the moment.
So Harry took these 5 lessons to heart. He funded his account one last time, and he started putting these psychological techniques into practice. And slowly but surely, things began to change. The small wins started happening more often, his losses were always kept in check, and his confidence, it started to come back. He wasn't chasing that one giant jackpot anymore. He'd found something so much more valuable. He'd found the key to consistency.
Now, I've been telling you this whole story about a trader named Harry, about his struggles and how he had this incredible breakthrough. And the reason why this is so important, the reason I can explain it all with such conviction, is because, well, that trader's story is my story.
I am Harry. Everything you've just heard, the failures, the despair, the big discovery, and the eventual transformation, that was my journey. I learned every single one of these lessons the hard way, so that, hopefully, you won't have to.
Because ultimately, the path to becoming a profitable trader isn't about finding some secret indicator or a flawless strategy. It's all about mastering the person you see in the mirror. You have the roadmap now. The only question left is, can you master the driver?